Okay, so news this week. Basically almost nothing. I mean, if you haven't been keeping up with any other videos I've been releasing, I'm quitting modding over here over the period of the next couple months. This has been a decision that's been, well, repeatedly brought up for a while. I've been modding for 6 years and haven't really been, in my opinion, getting anything really done. I've been watching other modders that not only have I trained a couple of them, but worked with several of them get up to really high achievement points and get some pretty popular mods out there, but I've still been sitting at the same point doing the same mods over and over again. Not to sound like I'm aiming for pity, as I really don't care, but usually when I make something and I release it online, I aim to hopefully get a lot of people to enjoy the content. On average, ICBM has only been getting about 1,000 downloads a month. It's been incredibly low download rates. I can actually even show this too. This isn't me just making up figurative numbers. Um, but I mean a lot of the mods, because I only released them here on Curse. That was the ideal way to do it here recently because it's an easy way to get things going. But this version was released here at the beginning of the month. It's the 22nd. It's been 20 days. Not even 1,000 downloads yet. It'll hit roughly 1,000 most likely by the end of the month. Then again, the previous one didn't even hit 1,000. It's been pretty low. I put a lot of hours into working on these mods, and I'm getting nothing out of it. I mean, I'm going to continue working on ICBM. It's a mod that I'll continue to make until I literally give it over to somebody else, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. So you'll still see content developed for ICBM. But a lot of these other mods that I was planning on releasing and I'm currently working on, I'm going to be finding other people to be working on these. Um, all the single block mods will continue being developed. They will also be updated to newer versions of Minecraft. ICBM most likely will not be updated to newer versions of Minecraft. With the recent performance issues I've been hearing about and everything else, I see no point in updating ICBM to a newer version because it may become unplayable. ICBM is not exactly a mod that was performance friendly to start with. It's always had its problems with block updates and manipulating the world and stuff. This is the reason why multi-threading was implemented, and I've been always aiming to try to keep it as low impact as possible. But I can't even run 110 on my computer. The computer I'm on is no joke either. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have two graphics cards shoved into this thing, both with 4 gigabyte RAM caches on each of them. The processor is equivalent to an i7, even though it's an AMD. Yet I still can't run the newer versions of Minecraft with about. I loaded up a pack that had 54 mods in it, and I ran out of memory. My buddy Grogger tried to load a similar pack. His computer went down. This isn't even just bad luck or anything. We repeatedly tried this experiment over and over again with a few different packs. Because right now we're actually playing a couple different packs right now. Rather than playing packs we create, we've been searching around and playing packs that are randomly up on thing. Right now we're doing, I believe the name of the pack is Astronomy something. I can actually pull it up with the curse here. Da 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 da. Curse. Curse is not the best loading app on my computer either. Now, given I probably could fix these issues and make stuff actually load better, but that's still not the point. Yeah, right now we're playing this pack of Space Astronomy. Now this pack I think has about 90 mods in it, and it runs under 4 gigabytes of RAM and 1710. A smaller mod pack, I believe I grabbed. I don't remember the name of it, but it had 81. Not even getting into the world load, it hit 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's not even a world loaded 8 gigabytes of RAM. I tried to load a world, I ran out of RAM on my computer. Now, which isn't really saying much because if I pull up my RAM statistics, even when running cold, this is which I call cold, is running recording software and a few other apps, I'm eating up 35% of my RAM. That's about 3 to 4 gigs. So that means I usually have about 12 gigs to spare. Minecraft managed to eat up the remaining 12 gigabytes of RAM with recording software running, with TeamSpeak, with a few other apps. Now I can shut everything down on my computer. I could probably run my computer with Aereo graphics, which is the old Windows XP graphics system. I could probably run it in safe boot and probably get a mod pack to run. But most people forget when mod developing is being done. I end up utilizing almost a gigabyte just for the dev kit, and then if I launch Minecraft in debug mode, I almost consume 25 for this additional percent RAM. So if a mod pack takes 8 gigabytes of RAM to load, it would take my dev kit 10 to 12 gigabytes of RAM to run. So this is the whole reason behind I'm not going to be updating. Now I'm fully welcome if anybody else wants to update, if anybody else wants to take that effort forward, I'm okay with that. All you have to do is come talk to us. We'll give you upload permission. We'll give you file access. We'll let you work on stuff. Given the senior staff from BBM will have to overlook the mod to make sure it's run worthy. But back to the whole thing of why I'm quitting modding, because 1.10 update has nothing to do with that. I probably wasn't going to update if I stuck around anyways, because man, it's a lot of work. I mean, I had just got everything done with 1.7.10 when 1.9 rolled out. That's how far behind I was on updates. And I'm still behind. I still haven't managed to finish a lot of the work. But yeah, rolling back here, none of these mods are getting really any downloads. So I got AI improvements. I think this is actually the #1 downloaded mod I actually have. Um, yeah, right here. And the only reason, that's a year. Keep in mind that August is past here. This mod has been out, let's see, 13 months, 10,000 downloads. If we go look at, say, let's open this back up here, and we go to projects, mods. Whale is the #1 downloaded mod. We go to one of its versions of its files. A version it released here in May, which was a few months back, has already got almost 500,000 downloads for 194. 1.7.10 version it released last year, which will be about, let's say, 18 months ago, it's almost got 6 million. Now, given Whale is a really, really popular mod, so this isn't a very fair comparison. Still looking at, like, I could probably go down through here, and for several pages, I will find mod after mod that's getting huge downloads, and my content hasn't been getting downloads at all. Now, I don't normally make content for the sole fact that I want downloads, but if my content isn't being used, and I'm not enjoying making it anymore, there's almost no point in making that content. Because, I mean, AI improvements, for example, I made this for the simple fact that I was playing a mod pack called Shadow Chapter that was having horrible performance issues, and after several days of investigation, I found out that the performance impact was entirely related to AIs. And I went through and I fixed everything. And I dropped off about 30-40% of the CPU usage off that server because, well, we had a few users that were being really dumb and they were stacking sheep into the number of thousands. And the main reason that sheep were murdering off the CPU usage is just their head look code. So the code that they look and stare at things was eating stuff up. But a lot of these mods I actually make are like this. They're entirely designed around the ideal that either I had some bug with the game that I wanted to fix, or some functionality. Addicted to Red, I couldn't find a redstone mod that added simple blocks that allowed me to interact with the world better. Addicted to Red adds things like sound blocks. I can emit any kind of sound produced in Minecraft. I can detect sound produced in Minecraft and then trigger redstone. So if a sheep baws nearby, I can trigger redstone for that. A player walks nearby, I can detect that player. I can detect his name, how much HP he has. I can detect all kinds of aspects about him, how much inventory space he has about him, and I can trigger redstone based off that. I can detect mobs in the area, not just what types of mobs, or if there is a mob. I can detect how many, how much HP they have, what kind of gear they have. I can detect how much XP is in the area, how many items are on the ground. And I can relay that all back to simplistic redstone. I don't have to use ComputerCraft, I don't have to use OpenComputer, because both those mods have this capability in mind, I know that. But there isn't any simplistic redstone mods I've ever found that do this functionality. Now there's some, if you like severely combine them together, can do this, but then you build this room-sized machine to do something as simple as detect how many XP orbs are on the ground. And the only reason I wanted to detect XP orbs is I was building a Call of Duty Nazi zombie style arena on a map, and I needed to be able to feed in data into a ComputerCraft controller that I was using to control the arena. And I needed to be able to clear XP, I needed to be able to kill the mobs, I needed to be able to clear items off the ground. Like if too many items got on the ground, the arena would lag and players couldn't play. So I needed to clear the items repeatedly. I needed to detect how quickly the players were killing the zombies, so I knew how quickly to respawn them and everything. And Addicted to Red came into that. Now the current version doesn't have all those features. A lot of those features were only on that private server of mine. Maybe one of these days I'll put them all on the Addicted to Red, but that was a back burner mod to start with, so likelihood was not very high. A lot of these single block mods, they were designed around the ideal that I found something cool. Literally Red Cow, the entire ideal of how that got created is I was sitting in the middle of a doctor's office waiting for my brother to get out of physical therapy, and I wanted to make a mod. And I made almost a mod per day when he was at physical therapy. I made Red Cow, I made wooden buckets. Um, there's a lot of them on here that are not actually on Curse. Not all of the single block mods ever actually made it to Curse. There's actually almost 100 of them, but there's only like I think 5 of them on here. Wooden Shears is one I made while I was waiting on stuff. Magic Mirror is actually a recent mod I just released. I don't know how this is even doing on downloads. I haven't checked it. This mod was literally a suggestion by a user that wanted to have a magic mirror that he didn't have to think about using. The way it works, as soon as you walk into a dungeon, it marks that position at the entrance of the dungeon, and then you go right back to the entrance. So it's not cheaty. So you don't make it back to spawn point, you don't make it back to your house, you don't go like 1,000 blocks away. You just go maybe that 200 blocks between you and the dungeon entrance, which works. And that's how Magic Mirror really should work. It's how it works in most games. Well, I would say this. Then you get Terraria, where Magic Mirror takes you back to spawn point. I believe I found out recently the mod Query Plus. That's how their mirror works. I found their mirror in one of the mod packs I was playing, and I'm like, oh, this looks and plays exactly like the mirror I just made. I didn't even bother looking at any mods when I went to go make the magic mirror. I just made it based off of a suggestion, and then I found out there's like 30, 40 mods that do this. Not in quite the way I do it, but 30, 40 mods that do magic mirror. So I don't expect that to ever get good downloads. That was made for a single person. I will continue to make mods like this for people on request, because the single blocks mods are entirely designed around the ideal that you can take a simple piece of content and make it really, really well. Like Wooden Shears here. In actual news for this week, there'll be an update for Wooden Shears that'll be adding material types. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, is actually get the material types done for it, but I was waiting on a texture artist to do the files for it. But this mod, of course, doesn't get any downloads. Now, this mod will be showing up in a big mod pack here soon, so that download number actually might go up. It's kind of taking a bet there, but... And as you can see, this has been updated to 110. As I said, a lot of these will get updated to newer versions, just not the bigger mods. The bigger mods probably will never update, for the simple fact that the Armory mod, if I ever actually work on it, and this is if I go to the second page, there's a lot of experimental mods on here. Artilex, I'm not going to be releasing it for Minecraft. I was going to make this for Minecraft, but if you've seen my other video, this is the main reason why I'm not going to be doing modding anymore. I want to work on this project, and it want to be probably the sole project I'll work on for a very, very long time, in which I make actual true AIs, not these little drones that you see in video games that know how to shoot you and flank you. Things that almost behave like they're human, and I don't want to do that in Minecraft, because I would almost have to re-engineer Minecraft from the ground up in order to make the Artilex work properly. I already gave a really good swing at it. There's a video here I already have on YouTube showing me working on some guard AIs. I made them work, and they actually do work really, really well. Some of the ones I've been working on off of GitHub have I've been getting them to behave really intelligently on how they patrol, how they attack entities. They actually understand what a creeper is. That's asking a lot when it comes to AIs. Now, people who actually know how to code may be thinking, well, you just simply have to identify a creeper. It doesn't understand what a creeper is based off the fact that I told it what a creeper is. It understands what a creeper is based off of the fact that it explodes. It has learned that a creeper is a threat that has a radius-based attack. And I'm going to be working on a lot more of that behavior, but just not in Minecraft. Because this will be using a lot of things like neuron networks, and I don't want to do that in Minecraft because it won't run worth of crap. And of course, whatever I do put it in, the reality of it, if I do end up making it into a game, which is the plan, the neural network may not actually end up being in the game. The neural network may be outside of the game, and there may be these AI programs that I will have that'll run, that'll slowly, progressively learn how to play the game better and better and better. Then they'll update a central database that will then tell the in-game AIs how to behave. That way, the game itself still runs well. But yeah. Mad Science here, and I'm going to be giving this back to the author. The author has just finished up his game, so he may actually end up having time to work on his mod. I wanted to do a lot of really cool stuff with this, but with trying to quit modding, I just don't have time to do this. I made a really good try at updating it. I give the author credit for what he did. He made a mod with zero modding experience, and he made it work, and he made it work really, really well. But because he knew nothing about modding, his mod actually was almost impossible to update to a newer version of Minecraft because the code was in such a disarray because all the machines were just a furnace. They were copied the furnace, each machine had its own recipe handler, and that worked for him. And believe it or not, that mod actually is probably one of the best functioning mods I've actually played with. Yet, for how I do things, it's not going to work out. Now here's a mod. This isn't actually on release yet. This is under experimental unapproved. I will be making a single blocks mod that adds 5 or 6 guns to Minecraft. This is meant to be a prototype for the armory. It'll eventually get released. Military base Agora will eventually get released. This mod pack is probably going to be canceled. I wanted to make this, and I mainly wanted to make this because Lex was looking for a deep sea mod pack, and I love underwater exploration in games. So I wanted to do this, but the problem with this is I didn't want to use anybody's existing mods to make this mod pack. I wanted to do 100% custom. Under my own custom seaweed, own custom sharks, octopus, everything. Full, utter, 100% customized mods that were 100% exclusive for just that mod pack. ICBM Classic, I may end up working on eventually. This is just a matter of I got to sit down for a couple weeks straight and do it. With classwork recently, it's going to be difficult. Box of Crates is technically in a release state, but I haven't put it on Curse yet. I got to do more testing. The mod's just adding storage. That's basically all the mod is. I want to kind of reiterate the code and simplify it a little bit. That way I can go through and add like 50 models to it. There'll be like really basic things like milk cartons to put stuff in. The main ideal though is the reason I made this is I was trying to make a single blocks mod, and then I decided that the code would be too complicated to be a single blocks mod, so it extends Volt Engine. Because I need to packet handling code, and copying the packet handling code is a pain to do. I did it for the Magic Mirror mod simply because the Magic Mirror mod needed to be a single blocks mod, but this one, it just isn't going to work. This was also created by the ideal that nobody has a good barrel for Minecraft or crate. Assembly line, I had crates in there that were spot on. They put everything in your inventory, really good controls to them. You can dump items in, you can pull items out, you can pick the crates up, you can stack the crates. You could place them. They had basic upgrades. Now, I like Jabba Barrel's upgrade system, but I don't like how it drops the items at your feet, because I like to build these really big rooms and then fly around the rooms and pick stuff up. And if they drop at your feet, they end up on the bottom of the room half the time. So that was how that was made. Armory, it's still a hit or miss if I'm going to make this. This mod will actually be pretty easy to make. I could probably do it if I sit down for a week and do it. Because all I have to do is make the prefabs for the guns, the swords, the armor, and a few of the upgrades. And then the entire mod will be JSON processed. So you'll feed it a JSON file that'll go, hey, this is a gun, this is how much ammo it has, this is what type of ammo it has, and here's how you craft it and you're done. Assembly line, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this. I really want to update this mod, and I've been trying to find people to work with. At one point, I had Azzy, who was one of the maintainers of Buildcraft, on board, and then he noped out and went and made his own stuff. I was kind of saddened by that because I was looking for. I've always been looking for developers to kind of help me out here. I've got impressive ideals for Minecraft and things I always want to do, but being one person, it's really difficult to actually maintain these mods and develop content for them. Hence also the reason why I'm getting out of this stuff. I'm going to pick one mod and I'm going to develop one mod and that'll be it. That'll be ICBM. I'll be working only on ICBM, and occasionally I'll come through and I'll add content to other stuff. Like I'll add content to military base decor, but then I'll leave somebody else to do most of the maintenance for it and most of the content development. The same thing will go for all the single blocks mods. I'll come through, I'll add content to it, but somebody else will utterly be responsible for the overall mod. But that's so far in news. Now, since some of you might be asking, I had this window open. This is the game I'm working on. It doesn't look like much. I'm basically only testing code. I can show off really quickly what this is. I actually think I even got a video that I haven't uploaded yet. But yeah, as you can tell, there's not a lot going on. I got a drone now orbiting me. That's me testing attack code. Right now the drone doesn't have any weapons, so it just sits there and orbits me. But this is the base of one of the games I'm working on. The reason it looks funky is this originally was a part of another game I was developing that I'm still planning on getting back to, but I duplicated all of its code base and am working off of its code base because it has just enough stuff to get started. Like I already have barrels that explode, although the actual game will not contain barrels that explode. The actual game is going to be an arcade-driven game where you literally just go through levels. It's going to be a reiteration of old school games brought into a 3D visual style, but still reminiscent of the old style. Like you pick up power-ups, you get better weapons. There's upgrade screens between several levels, boss fights, but overall just an arcade game. But that's the news. It's a bit longer than usual because I did a big rant here, but hopefully this works. I'll continue to be releasing these news videos, so don't fear. Like, with me quitting modding, this isn't going to happen instantaneously. I've intentionally said that I'm going to do it over the period of a year. That way I can make sure all the mods are maintained and taken care of. You guys don't lose updates. I'm going to try to find as many developers as I can that contribute towards the projects, including ICBM itself. Although I will be developing ICBM, so don't fear that part. But overall, yeah. So I'll see you guys later. Hopefully have more videos.